Did you guys see that Candace Owens and Tim Pool are fighting? Tim Pool, we most recently talked about him because he was saying he was going to shut down shop. You know, we're shutting down shop. We're not going to do our show anymore because we don't make enough money. It's also coming months after the Russian funds dried up due to that federal government investigation. But, you know, they don't have enough money to fund the security that Tim Pool needs. It's not that they don't have enough money to keep the lights on. They have great concurrent numbers. It's that they don't have enough money to increase security in a manner that is necessary for Tim Pool to do the job safely and to keep his staff safe. Because Tim Pool and the cast at Timcast have their lives under threat. And in this time of increasing political tension, of increasing political violence, Tim Pool feels that threat. Right? So that was what he was putting forward. Then Tim Pool started going back and forth over Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, and the idea that Candace Owens, who has been feuding with a bunch of people on the right recently due to her statements about Charlie Kirk's wife, her statements about Charlie Kirk, his assassination, being an inside job, and just all the conspiratorial nonsense. Some people think that what she said about Emmanuel Macron's wife being a man and her really standing on it, saying she would bet her career reputation on it, was silly and stupid. But after all the pontificating about Charlie Kirk, Tim Pool says that Candace actually hates Charlie Kirk, that they were never friendly. And this prompted a response from Candace, which, of course, it went back and forth. They had a war of words. We'll start with Tim.
Candace was telling people that she hated Charlie.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Weird. It sounded like that girl.
The problem is
No way.
there are a ton of people. So before Charlie Kirk was killed, Candace had been telling a bunch of people, and I have names, Candace. I have names because I get tips too. She was telling people that she hated Charlie. And these people are scared to speak out because they fear that Candace will do things like put them on a thumbnail that says who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death, like she did to me. They fear that people will start harassing them, make up lies about them, which is happening to us here at Timcast. And they fear that some psychotic retard who follows Candace, no, I'm not saying everyone who follows her is a psychotic retard. I'm saying at least one of them will harm them. And these people haven't been speaking up. Now, more and more people.
I will. He doesn't say it. Doesn't stop me.
People are starting to.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to those people who have been saying behind the scenes that Candace hated Charlie Kirk and she was just going on and on about it. Maybe if they said something from the get-go, we wouldn't be in this position. But Candace knows people are afraid of her.
Do you guys believe that Candace Owens hates Charlie? Because the belief was, especially on the left, right, looking in, was that there was a lot of people in Charlie Kirk's immediate circle who might have been involved with him for business reasons, might have been involved with him due to the platform that he holds and the business that comes with him. But Candace, her friendship seemed genuine. You can see them dancing along the music together. You can see them sharing music in the morning before morning runs and workouts. You can see them texting in a way that you would imagine that they would both be butterfly kicking their feet in the bed together, like schoolgirls, in the way that you were reading the back and forth communications between people. But the way that Tim's describing it is as if that there is a leak. There are those who paint a picture that is different, that what Candace Owens has been trying to create the image of is actually not true, that she didn't like him, and either she was being manipulative towards him, pretending to like him, being nice to him, or that, maybe she wasn't ever really chill with him like that. Do I believe that? I haven't seen anything. And what Tim Pool is essentially saying is people are saying, oh, there are sources, none of these sources have come forward because he says the fear is so mighty that Candace will treat them like they treated the Tim Pool show, the Timcast, Tim Pool, how she has treated others. Do I buy this? I have no reason to. It's not that I think it's impossible. Candace Owens has told bizarre lies in the future, particularly about Emmanuel Macron's wife. She loves to delve into conspiracy. Whatever brings the viewership to her show, it seems that the truth is ever malleable. But do I believe this? I don't know. It's just everything that I did showed it seemed like a genuine relationship. And it also seemed like Charlie was willing to stand on business sometimes for Candace, even. For Candace. But by the way, like, he was really angry. He like really laid into Candace. It wasn't just that, hey, you said this mean things about me, and oh, you were not really friends with Charlie. It's that on top of everything else, for the last few months, ever since Charlie was shot, it was just endlessly stringing people along, and this is true, endlessly stringing people along on, oh, the truth will come out. Oh, it was an inside job, or oh, it wasn't. Who knew? There was some people on the inside at TPUSA who must have known, and just theory after theory with nothing of substance attached to it, because she is not a journalist. She is an attention merchant, and she was merchanting the attention. And so, it made it really easy for Tim Pool to just kind of light her up.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag.
He also seemed a little perturbed.
She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live
I thought walls worked.
in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And it's all lies, it's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yep.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't.
These people aren't the Hungarian financiers, not like the reliable people Tim takes money from.
Invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out. And
actually, I think there's an official government report saying that they're actually the Russians were. The Russians were paying. You can't say no, but people were paying you. Now that money's dried up and all of a sudden you don't have enough money anymore. But you did say they were. They did pay you. You just justified it at the time saying you didn't know. That you were essentially a uninformed, ignorant stooge for a Russian information operation. But you can't say you weren't paid. That happened. You can't just pretend that didn't happen, Tim. People will remember that forever. Like, people can read the PDF reports. That exists in the ether forever. past you and my life, like we will stop breathing. That will still exist in an archive somewhere.
And risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens?
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail
What a fucking cunt.
of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd imply
done.
that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow. Like
she benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her.
Jesus. Holy crap. You know, what's crazy is I think she's a Fed and I think she killed Charlie. My goodness. Look, you know what's wild? I've been taking pot shots at Tim, obviously, over the Russian money that was taken, over, you know, the fact that he has ridiculous beliefs about the world. Ukraine's the biggest threat to anything in the world. We must stop the Ukraine. You know, it's cartoonish. He's a cartoon character. But what he's saying about Candace Owens is 100% true. Oh my God. Tim's not only telling the truth here. Tim, in a moment of like possession from the heavens, has become for like a 3-minute time span, like almost completely unfiltered truth. It isn't 100% pure Colombian truth. Okay. As we saw, like he had that, you know, that bump with the Russians, but he's really close. As Sepson says in chat, a rare moment of lucidity. Candace Owens is an attention merchant. The more uncouth term for it would be attention whore. She is somebody, no matter what the headline is, that somehow finds a way to inject herself into the story. Not just talk about a story, but inject herself into the story. Whether it has to be covering the French, talking about how Emmanuel Macron's wife is a man. Obviously, that's not true. Emmanuel Macron's wife says, that's not true. We will challenge you in court. So what does she do? She doesn't say, well, I know that she's a man, so I can prove it in court, and I can become a huge figure in not only American media, but French media. Candace can expand her network to a country of tens of millions of more people. She's going to have French translations of her show. Oh my God, she's about to break the biggest story ever. And what does she do? She cries and she whines. Wah, because the government is oppressing me. The government this is so evil and terrible that they're actually making me prove
Burns
the
is
things
an
that I said.
immoral, morally corrupt,
and so of
bankrupt
course,
man.
Candace Owens goes out there. Thank you, Dispersia, for the primer. I appreciate that. 9 months. So she goes out there. She goes to court, and of course she can't prove it. And of course, Emmanuel Macron's wife can. And after it's all said and done, there's not like any moment of like lucidity, or she comes out and says, you know what, I was wrong. It's just, and she just brushes it all off. Mind you, in the midst of all of the energy of that scandal, she went as far as to say that she will bet the credibility of the rest of her career on the fact that Emmanuel Macron's wife is not a woman. And it's not like a mild claim. It's not a claim that is, this is like, she should have picked like a non-falsifiable claim. But I guess she really never thought that Emmanuel Macron's wife would descend from the heavens and just like slap her like that. I think that was very difficult for her to comprehend. That is difficult for me to comprehend now in retrospect, looking back in the rear view mirror, seeing that. I mean, just imagine somebody comes out, provides evidence, and then just leaves. You're such a high profile figure when you were just like, you know, you're a YouTube commentator or formerly associated with the Daily Wire, of course. Congratulations, Shapiro. You really brought a real one into the online space. Shapiro and gang, of course. So that was one example of her just continuously bringing the right on lie after lie after lie that made her look ridiculous, that made the right look ridiculous. But in relation to Charlie, after Charlie's death, you know, everybody's sad, everybody's caught up in emotions, and she takes the moment to start saying like, oh, people know the truth, but they don't want to bring out the truth, and oh, you know, it's being suppressed, and oh, maybe it was an inside job, and oh, I know that there's people at Turning Point USA that know more, but they're not showing more. And she's pretending like she knows shit, that she knows something, that she has information, either due to her own feelings getting twisted up and she's just lashing out, or due to her knowing that due to her proximity to Charlie Kirk, she can use his death to basically prop herself up. She can prop herself up using his death. That she can, every single time that Charlie Kirk's name is useful in the algorithm, that the algo is going to be pumping posts up about him because of his death and because of the fallout of his death, she can make sure that she's at the front of the room, at the front of the, just in front of everybody else, in front of every other media merchant, and can be saying, not, oh, Charlie, my emotions for you, Charlie, I'll die for you, Charlie. Like, she's not doing slam poetry. She's out there saying it was an inside job. I think people at TPS USA did it. XYZ.
Great, thanks.
Hey, Martin, thank you for the 10 Canadian. So we still got a few Canadian ones holding it down here at DylanBurns TV. Thank you. But my point is, like, she chose the moment to take advantage of the algorithm and Charlie's death to throw out the most crazy, vague claims to bring attention to her, as if she had the smoke, and at any moment the fire will be revealed. That's the feeling you get when you're on, like, Candace Owens' show. And when she talks about, like, oh, I have this information, oh, I have that information, but it has yet to be revealed. I hate when people talk like that. If you have the information, you just reveal it. Just show it. Just show it now. Don't hint it. Or if you have the information and you don't want to show it now, don't mention it. Show it later. Nobody, like, she's creating a vagueness about the amount of information she has, because by doing that, people's minds get imaginative, and again, they're waiting for the magician to reveal the secret, reveal how it works, reveal the great trick, reveal the great truth about what truly happened to Charlie. And so what Tim's saying right here about Candace is 100% on point. She used the algorithm, she used Charlie's death in order to get more attention, make more of that ad moolah, and put herself front and center in the national conversation. And look, she is now still in the fallout. I mean, we're still on Charlie. We're still on Charlie Kirk. I mean, the assassination was months ago. We're still on Charlie Kirk's death, and Candace Owens is still front and center on the topic. I wanted to go hear what Candace actually said. Because this is actually what precipitated this response.
As you power, scared.
Well, look at her face as he says that. I'm sorry, it's just very funny. Very funny to me.
As you power, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two no one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets
She is mogging him hard, though. He is good at that.
At my property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He is not tough.
Tim Pool, in the footage where he called me all those mean names, the Arsler, the Ceased, oh, these horrible names. I just want you to remember, he has the traits of a woman, which I am, by the way. And you should not discount in me, but he has the traits of a woman. What? This is a great freeze frame, by the way.
And he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy. Secondly,
I've seen Luke Beasley and others on Tim Pool's show, and he gets like really preachy and talks like that about a lot of people. I've never seen him use use some of those words before. But like the way he raises his tone and gets all worked up in the way he does, that I'm sure his mother at least thinks is cute, maybe not the rest of the nation. Basically, a temper tantrum only a mother could love. But I mean, he's done that before.
Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now. Okay. So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay, pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's braving, is jumping on the side of what everyone else is doing. He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying out because he's under financial pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist to pay him, and they will. Okay, they will cut him a check, and I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy. But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you about the Charlie Kirk narrative, I have not focused my content on you, and anytime your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man. Okay, you are behaving. Your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put 100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further 100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now.
Jeez.
I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids. Get your affairs in order and stop blaming me, because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care about your midterms, okay? I don't care about your next year midterms and whether or not the Republican Party is united, okay? Because I don't want to stand next to people that would cover up Charlie Kirk's assassination. I hope that I have made my point perfectly clear.
Why could you care about midterms when you could care about views? From dragging Charlie Kirk's body through the street, tied to the back of an Ford F-150, in order to get and garner attention. I mean, Candace really is one of the best in the game. I mean, just the shamelessness is actually kind of awe-inspiring, actually. It makes me consider a career change. It really does. It makes me consider a career change. My God, Tim Pool is the kind of guy to lose 100K on a poker game and comes home and beats his wife and kids. Janabo, use that as the opening quote. My goodness. By the way, I do want to throw out there that Tim Pool, the reason he's focusing so much on security right now is that there was, according to Tim, let me read you the testimony, a shooting at his property. Last night, this is from December 6th, last night a vehicle approached our property and opened fire. No one was hurt. Our security team is reviewing the incident and will be relaying the report to appropriate law enforcement. This is the price we pay for speaking out against evil. So he immediately assumes that it's something related to that. Dude, when my house burned down, I should have just come out and say, the Russians will never be able to forget the name Dylan Burns. I should have, man, I could have made that dope before I knew anything. My immediate thought is someone was trying to scare us, but we have a security gate and armed guards, and it's possible this deterred something more serious. Tim Pool would be asked by the police department, the local police department, after this is filed, because he did actually file a shooting, that a shooting happened at his property. His security did. The police then requested for the security cam footage, because Tim Pool does have security cameras on his property. And, being able to use that footage, they'd be able to check that gray sedan that circled the property, according to his staff, before firing off a few shots. Tim Pool then refused to hand over that footage, and then told TMZ reporters that the reason that he didn't hand over that footage is because by handing over that footage to law enforcement, he could be further compromising the security of his property. That by taking out this footage and giving it to the police, who I don't even know if the police would release it to the general public. I don't know how long it would even be before that information would release to the general public. And if I remember correctly, I think if it's, is this the location in Maryland that he's staying at? Is this the West Virginia location? Point is, he just refused to hand it over for security reasons. And so we have to believe both his testimony combined with the fact that it was filed, even though they did not fully cooperate with law enforcement and hand over all the footage. Now, is it possible that if the police department immediately published that footage of his compound from the inside, never before seen, of how the shooting went down, could be a security risk? Maybe if somebody wanted to repeat the exact same attack. I would also say that if Tim Pool is expecting it, that element of surprise is probably one of the biggest elements for somebody trying to carry out something like this. But I would also ask, why would the police department release that footage to the general public? Could the police department not review that footage privately, or did they disclose to Tim that if you give us this footage, we will have to release it to the general public because of some sort of public interest or otherwise? I don't know. That was not reported by TMZ and what they said about the shooting. But this is all in the aftermath of this event, which then better paints exactly why Tim Pool has the rage that he has. But I've also seen him just throw that type of rage out there generally in conversation for very little reason. So it's very hard to tell when Tim Pool has an actual emotion and has a manufactured emotion for a conversation. Very difficult.